Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So this is going to be another pre-recorded episode. The main reasoning is just because I felt like recording, and also because I do have some signings in mind already for this team. So I apologize if you are commenting on the video on Friday for some suggestions for some signings, but I do have some guys in mind who we could bring in, and I think our team is going to be pretty built next season, which should be enticing for sure. So anyways, if you guys didn't catch the last episode, or if you didn't watch it all, we acquired Sebastian Aho from the Carolina Hurricanes and then re-signed him to a 3-year deal. So we don't really have a whole lot of cap space for this team. As you can see, we have $18 million, but we do have a lot of really good forwards already signed, and we already have a lot of good defensemen. Most of the guys that we just have holding out right now are RFAs, and those include Sasaki, Shishkinov, Guerrero, and then goalie-wise, it includes Pedersen, which is going to be the most expensive of the bunch probably. So yeah, that's basically who's qualified at the moment. Those guys should end up accepting for much less than they're asking right now, because right now if we were to give them what they want, it would be just over the cap space that we have. So if they dropped their asking price quite a bit, I think I'm going to be pretty happy, because there is a free agent that should fit our third line center spot, which is something we actually need. So we are going to be trying to sign that guy. And then hopefully we have enough cap space to get all these RFAs back, because we might just barely make it in terms of cap space, but this team is going to be really well-rounded, I think. And yeah, hopefully that works out pretty well. Now, what's kind of concerning, that means the AI is going to have to do this, is our AHL team doesn't really have a whole lot of defensemen and a lot of, well, they have a lot of forwards by comparison to defensemen, but right now they only have one defender down there. Obviously, also, Ortmeyer is going to be down there. I think I am going to be playing Bilesma this year on our top 6 defensive pairing. That is, if he works there really well. Just also because he's a cheaper option, and he could get some pretty good development this year, considering he's a low elite. So I think he should be fun enough to play on our top 6 already, even though he's only a 77. And he could develop up to like a 79 pretty quickly, I would assume. So I probably will play him on our NHL pairings this year. But yeah, our AHL team just doesn't have a lot of defensemen, so probably the AI is going to sign some pretty bad defensemen for down there, which means the AHL team is going to probably take a little bit of a hit this year. But it is what it is. We're trying to contend now in the NHL. We don't really care as much about the AHL. We just want the AHLers to develop. So that's pretty much that. But anyways, let's get into the one free agent signing I have planned. We actually have to sign, I think, a depth forward too. Yeah, I think we have to maybe sign something depth related as well. But I will wait until the RFAs accept first, because those guys will sign for cheap and whatnot anyways. But Bentley, who is a free agent, is somebody I am going to be bringing in right now, because he could end up going off the board. He doesn't have any interest from other teams, but he is a very intriguing piece, as we'll sort this by overall. I believe he was like an 82. If I'm not mistaken. He should be down here somewhere. Wait, where is he? I know he's a UFA. He was 26 years old, so... oh, there he is. Yeah, but he's an 81, so he's not the highest overall, but this guy's only 26. He's a top 9 forward. As you can see, he's also a playmaker, which is good. 93 passing, so putting him next to somebody like Gallagher or Redmond on that third line should generate some offense on our third line, which is something we need. He used to play on the Dallas Stars, which is also interesting, considering that's where Mitchkov came from. And yeah, he looks like he could be a pretty decent fit, especially considering it actually says he fits our third line. So yeah, we're going to bring him in. Even though his face-off stats aren't the greatest, I think he should be a good fit for this team. And he'll be a better third-line center than using somebody like Sepulveov, who is more of a depth kind of guy. We could use Sepulveov as a fourth-line left wing if we want to. So that might be what we end up doing. But we are going to be signing Bentley. And I am going to give him... I feel like I could give him a 2-year deal. It might be a bit expensive that way, though. I'm going to try and get him for a little bit less. Hopefully no other teams come in on him. Let's just do 2 years at 2.3. And yeah, that's going to be basically the only free agent signing we make right now while we wait for the RFAs to accept. And then once the RFAs accept, we'll sign ourselves some depth if we need that, which I think we need maybe like a depth defenseman and one depth forward at least. Because I wouldn't mind playing Sepulveov this year, considering he was okay as a depth forward last year. And that way he doesn't maybe complain about his ice time. So let's advance a few days and see if Bentley accepts. I'm not making any trades, not right now. And we should be finding out soon. Yep, Bentley has accepted. Perfect. And he says a good run in the playoffs. Hopefully that is the case, because we definitely need him and this team to get going. So let's take a look. So now we're down to 16.78, and we got still our 4 RFAs. So we got to wait and see if those guys accept. Hopefully most of them don't hold out too long. If they hold out to the start of next season, that's okay. We could still find ourselves some depth forwards at the start of the season, I think. So let's go to the first and see if our RFAs start accepting, hopefully for decently cheap. If any of them don't accept, that's okay as well, as long as their asking prices start to come down. But yeah, those RFAs are probably going to have to end up getting qualified every single year, just because of our cap situation. Because a lot of guys are signed for more than 1 year on this team at the moment. So none of our RFAs is accepted just yet, and we're a month into free agency. How is the asking prices at this moment? Sasaki is down to 3,675, so that's down by 1.3, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Shishkinov's down to only 1,975. That's not too bad either. Yeah, I could definitely sign these guys back for what they want right now. It's just down to Pedersen. What is he asking for now? He wants still 8.15. Wow. For 7 years, which I'm definitely not giving him 7 years. I could give him a 1 year deal at 6.7 though. So yeah, I could get these guys back right now. I'm going to still let them hold out and see if they drop their asking price more. And like I said, it doesn't really matter if we don't sign any depth yet, because we could sign that depth once the season starts. I could look and see if there's a better fourth line left winger though instead of Sopolyov, but I don't think there would be, because Sopolyov's like a 80 overall, I think. So I'm going to use, I think, Sopolyov as a fourth liner this year. So let's continue assimilating. Let's go up to next season almost already. Like, let's just go another month, and then we could sign ourselves some extra depth camp of that guys once these RFAs start accepting, if they are going to. Hopefully those asking prices come down a little bit more, and then we could sign those guys up for 1 year deals. Glad they're all RFAs at least, because or else we would have lost one of them probably. None of them have accepted yet. That's kind of surprising. Okay, let's stop the simulation and offer them some contracts now, because it's getting kind of late into September, or not September, August. So let's go to contracts. 16 million. Let's sign these guys up. They should be cheap. Yep, 1 year at 2.8. Let's just do that. Shishkinov 1 year at 1.525. Let's do that. Guerrero 1 year 1.35. Good. And then what about you, Pedersen, for 1 year? 5.25. That's a bit expensive, but I will do it just because we have the cap space. And we should still have like 5 or 6 million in cap space by the end of that, maybe. We should have a good amount of cap space still with those RFAs, which is kind of surprising. They should accept soon. Yep, there's all the acceptings, except for I think one of them still holding out. Yep, there you go. Okay, so we got all our RFAs right at the end of August. What do we need still? Do we need to sign anything else for this team? We have 9 million in cap space, so this team is actually pretty good. Well built in terms of the cap. Lucky those guys were RFAs. So what do we got here? So Aho would be playing left wing, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 centers. Well, Sopolyov could be playing wing, depending if we want to play McGillis or him on the center. I might actually use Sopolyov as the fourth line center and McGillis as the winger instead. Well, we got 4 there. We got 4 there because we are using Aho as a left winger. And then we got 4 there. That's good. And then defensively, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could use a depth defenseman. So yeah, we just need a depth forward, I think. I don't want to use... I could use Bykov as a depth forward, to be honest. But I don't really know if I want to do that. And then Penner's going to be in the AHL. So yeah, I probably need myself... If I'm being honest, yeah, I probably need 2 depth forwards and a depth defenseman, and that's pretty much it. So we should be able to find some of those for relatively cheap, and then our team should be pretty well built up, I would assume. Wow, Zadina's still in free agency. What do we got here? So let's start by defenseman. So we got to find ourselves a depth defender that works well with her system. I was looking at Asplund, wasn't I, before? Or no? No, I don't think so. This guy's only 27. He might be the best bet. He only wants 8.25 as well. Because I usually go with guys that are younger Oh, it was Anton Olsen I was looking at before, but I don't know if he fits our roster. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just go with the top guy that's only 27. Might as well. He wants a two-way deal as well, so we'll just give him that. And then we need 2 depth forwards, so we'll do 1 depth winger, 1 depth centerman. So I will go with Uriel Gallant, which I think I've seen before. He does fit our bottom 6, it looks like, so that's actually a pretty good one as a depth option. Wants a two-way deal as well, so I'll definitely take that. And then center-wise, I will sign Josh Lawrence, maybe. He's got good defensive stats, so maybe he's a good depth option. 29 years of age. There's also Wolf, who's only 26. Ooh, very good defensive forward, too. You know what? We're going to take Lou Wolf, which is a cool name. And that'll give us 3 younger depth type of options. That could potentially be something decent for our team as well. And then our team is really well built with still cap space available to make any trades and stuff like that. So I think I've built this team up pretty good for this season at least. Let's continue to simulate, so we should be able to get all 3 of those guys pretty easily. Considering we're a good team, we just got to call them all up to start the season, and then we'll edit our lines, and hopefully we have some good chemistry with Aho now for our top 6 and stuff like that. So let's go to roster moves here, and we will call up not any of these guys. Bilesma needs to be in the NHL, or he doesn't technically need to, but I want to play him in the NHL already. Penner's technically ready. Huh, I didn't expect him to jump up to an 80. Okay, well, at least we have that option down there. And then everybody else is going to stay in the AHL, looks like. Let me just make sure all the right guys are called up. Yep, that is good. So yeah, we'll just call up Bilesma and get him into our defensive core. Let's go best lines here in the NHL and AHL. And let's reassess this. So I could use Sebastian Aho as a center, but I don't know if I think I want to do that. So let's go to Geeky, Michkov, and Agostino. And then Aho, Shelley, and Byfield. Then we'll run something like Gallagher, Shishkinov, and we need to take out these guys. Bentley needs to be on the 3rd line. There we go. Redmond needs to be here. And then Sepulveda as center. Okay, we have good chemistry throughout our entire lineup. That's nice. And then we need to get Bilesma into the top 6 defensive pairing instead of Asplund. There you go, Bilesma. Ooh, nice. I actually didn't expect that to have much chemistry, but that's good. I'm surprised that Sasaki and Chikrin don't have chemistry. Ooh, okay, we'll do that. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Yep, this is definitely our best team. And look at this, Hornquist in 84. I don't know if this is natural growth or statistical or what, but he is a monster. I don't know why it's saying line chemistry for him, but yeah, I think Pettersson's time here is going to be done at the end of the season, for sure. Yeah, our team's looking really good. No complaints whatsoever. Like, maybe a little bit weak with Bilesma, but he should develop this year, so that's good. And the only problem I really have is playing Redmond on the 4th line, because he's listed as a 3rd liner. I could alternate between him and Gallagher, but I don't know. Let's address this power play quickly. So, yeah, we could do something like that, but I would rather... Actually, Mishkov should play on the point. Who was I going to move to the top unit instead? I don't know who I was going to put also on the top unit. Actually, let's go... Yeah, something like that would work for the top unit. And then Byfield, Shishkinov, and Shelley. And then on the point, who wouldn't play with DeMaio? Who could I play up there? Let's put Redmond on the power play, considering he's playing 4th line time. So, yeah, that second unit a little bit weaker, but it still has Byfield, and it has, like, Shelley's going to be down there now. So he's going to be shooting a lot down there, hopefully. I think that's decent. A little bit minus here, which is a bit questionable, but it is what it is. Let's move Byfield to center, because I think, yeah, he's better at face-offs. So, yeah, this power play unit, actually, let's bug Kiki back since the minus. Yeah, this power play unit might be a little bit weaker, but it is what it is. Penalty kill looks pretty good already. I don't know if I should play Aho on the penalty kill, though. because we need to get guys that wouldn't have a lot of ice time otherwise on there. So I could take Aho off, but I don't know if he's going to complain about that. I think, what is it, Gallagher could use some penalty kill time. Is he going to fit there, though? He does, okay. Yeah, I think we're going to run something like that. Let me just make sure everybody's getting good ice time on this team. Shishkinov's on the power play. Yeah, I feel like everybody's getting a good balance of ice time as well on this team. And then defensively, yeah, Sasaki, Tukinen. And yeah, for now, we aren't going to play whatever his name is, the guy we just drafted on the penalty kill, but eventually he will be a penalty killer. And then let's try and just flip this around. There you go. That works too. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yep, that is good. Everything looks pretty good with this team. And this should be our best team yet. And if this team does not go past the first round, it is a colossal failure. But at least most of these guys on this team are signed for more than 1 year. The only one that isn't really is like Byfield. So, and then some of the defensive core and the guys that were RFAs. Okay, so that is good. AHL wise, we do got some good guys down there. Dalmo, Penner, Kagorodov, McIntyre. So some good potential still in the minors. But that defensive core has a lot of forwards because once again, we are running low on defensive prospects. So we might have to find some of those in the next few drafts and whatnot. But anyways, now that that is done, let me just take a look at the captains. Who are the captains this year? That's in the AHL. Let me just go back to the NHL afterwards. I don't know why it showed me the AHL stuff. I want to take a look at the captains quickly. And then we'll start simulating, but I think this team is going to be the best team we've had in years. Even though our best teams, we've had like 50 win teams easily, but yeah, this team is going to probably be the best in terms of record I think we've had since the additions. So Shelly and Michkov as alternates, Chikrin as the captain, kind of makes sense. I don't know why Michkov already has an A over somebody like Agostino. So I'm going to take it off Michkov, even though I don't want to piss him off. But Agostino deserves a letter over him because he's been here a lot longer. So he's been through the ups and downs and more first round exits. So so there we go. That is that, and we are ready to start up the season. Let's do a decent amount of simulating in this episode, maybe up to January the 1st. I just really want to see how this team does. Like, I'm very excited. That's mainly why I wanted to record this episode ahead of time. So let's see how we do in the preseason. See if we could get some good wins there. And yeah, hopefully Sebastian Aho is okay with playing second line ice time and then playing first line power play and some penalty kill time too. So 5-1-1 in the preseason, pretty good. Michkov doing what he does, score goals and pick up points, so you like to see that. So yeah, that was a good opening preseason. Now it comes down to the regular season. Are we going to be a good team or not? We should be. We're definitely going to make the playoffs. It just comes down to if it's going to be a first round exit again or not. So let's go 1 month and see how this team does for the first month of action with Sebastian Aho as an Arizona Coyote. Should be interesting. Game against Minnesota as Geeky apparently was injured for a day, but doesn't anymore. So we started off the season with a big loss, but bounced back with a big win and a couple more losses. So a little bit of a worse start than I like, but I mean, we're probably just finding out our chemistry and stuff like that a little bit. Looks like we're scoring a lot of goals. Yeah, Byfield's got 8 points in 6 games, which is really good considering he is playing on the second line, which means Aho must be helping him out a lot. But the only thing with Byfield, like I said, he's signed to a 1-year deal, so he's probably gone at the end of this year, just because we might need the cap space for defenders instead, because their defensive core might get a little bit barren otherwise. Let's do another month. There's a 4-0 win. Yeah, our offense is definitely doing really good. Yeah, we're scoring like 4+ goals a game, so I feel like we should be the best offensive team in the NHL, but you never know. There could be a team that just has really weird players on there that score a lot of goals, because some EA-generated guys are absolutely nuts. Okay, let's see what we got here. There's a loss. 15-5-1. Yep, doing exactly what I was expecting, winning games in the season. Michkov's got 25 points in 21 games, 13 goals, so a little bit less offense in terms of scoring goals than I'd like from Michkov, but still pretty good. And yeah, we are currently the third best team in the league, because apparently the Sabres and the Lightning are off to a really good starts as well. We're actually exactly tied with the Blackhawks. Interesting. I'm pretty sure they won the division last year, if I'm not mistaken. So we're already at December the 1st. Wow, that was a lot of fast simulating. Let's go one more month, I think. Yeah, let's go one more month. Or actually, let's just go exactly halfway through the season. So right to game 41. Because that will give us the best taste of what our team is made of. And then we could decide if we need to make any changes or not. Which I don't think we're going to need to make much changes this year, but then again, that's up to you guys. And no, I'm not going to be pre-recording next episode, so... that is not good. Sasaki suffers a concussion, but at least it's not too long-term. But we're just going to go replace player that should put in that depth defenseman we signed. So... But yeah, this team is still doing good without Sasaki. We're now 25-9-1, and we're first place in the division by quite far. Agostino leading the team with 49 points in 35 games. Love to see that. Like I said, I wanted to sign a lot of players to surround guys like Agostino, because Agostino has only 3 years left on his deal. And then we're going to have to re-sign him again for another long-term deal. But right now, we have 51 points, which is the second best team in the NHL, only behind the Buffalo Sabres, which is pretty good. So let's simulate a little bit more, because we only have 35 games. I want to go up to game 41, so we need to do 6 more simulating games, and then we'll take a look at our player stats, team stats, all that type of stuff. And then maybe I'll take a look also at the trading block and see if we need to actually make trades. But for right now, I think our team doesn't really need to do much, as we suffer another concussion on the defensive core, so that's not good. We might need more defensemen, because Dallas Guerrero goes down. Let's just put it in a replaced player. That's a depth defender, but it is what it is. Or it's a depth forward that's playing. Guerrero is already back after 1 game, so that's actually good, because I was kind of worried about that. -5 without Guerrero up. Actually, that's not where that was, where Sasaki was playing. Yeah, so I'll just put in for right now Guerrero right there. Actually, wait, no, I shouldn't. I'll put Guerrero where Asplund was, because Asplund's a defenseman, and then I will put in Asplund right here. There you go. Still minus though with Asplund, which is not great. He's not really a great fit actually for this defensive core, so maybe we want to find a better depth defenseman. I don't really know, but I mean, we don't really want to mess with it. What isn't really that broken yet, so the injuries have kind of hit us lately, but it is what it is. And Sasaki is back. That is great news, because I do need my Sasaki back. Oh yeah, he was actually on that second pairing. So let's take out Guerrero, put Sasaki, and then take out Asplund and put in Guerrero, just to get that chemistry back. But yeah, we're kind of losing a lot of games this month, but that is what it is. And now we're 26-14-1. So not too bad. We're still first in our division. Wow, our division is actually really tight. There's less than 10 points separating us in last place. The Dallas Stars are actually 500 this year, which is a big surprise. But that is a little bit scary. But I mean, our team is still probably way better built than they are, so I'm not too worried, but still that's a little bit weird. Okay, let's take a look at our team stats and all that type of stuff for the season so far. And we'll take a look at the trading block, and that'll be it for this episode. So, as of right now, we are the 7th best team in the NHL. But Buffalo is running away with it. They're 10 points up on us now, so all of a sudden they've just really turned it on. Goals for per game wise, we are the 5th best offensive team behind the... tied for the 5th best offensive team, my bad. Behind the Islanders, the Kraken technically are tied with us. The Avs, the Caps, and the Blackhawks. Goals against per game wise, we are the 9th best defensive team, so we might be giving up a little bit more goals than I'd like, but it is what it is. It's not terrible. Power play percentage wise, we are one of the best power play teams in the league, not a surprise. And penalty kill has not been great. Okay, so our penalty kill is our problem right now. So we might have to readjust the penalty kill unit. 79.8%. Wow. Okay, I was not expecting to have that bad of a penalty kill. And yeah, we've been good on pretty much everything. 5-5 in our last 10 though, that's the only problem. So our penalty kill has not been good. So we'll have to find a way to maybe readdress that penalty kill. But anyways, so far, Sebastian Aho, 34 points in 41 games. Not really what I was expecting, but maybe we just have really good depth scoring. Considering he's had 3 straight 100-point seasons to put up 34 points. It's a bit weird. So hopefully he picks it up a bit in the second half, but he's been good. Byfield, 28 points, has been pretty good as well. Geeky's been really good, 25 points. Love to see that. I don't know if Aho would be better on the top line and then Geeky could play on the wing on the second line. I don't really know. Bentley's been really good as a third-line center. 21 points. That's pretty good. Sepulveov's been really good actually in the lineup. 12 points, 41 games. Not too bad. Agostino's been really good, as per usual. Plus 20 as well. Love that. Agostino's probably my favorite player in this series, because he's on pace to have 110 points this year, which is actually nuts. Which means some other players on the top line must be doing really well as well. Shishkinov, 27 points, pretty good, considering he's playing on the third line actually. Yeah, so 27 points is really good. And actually second line power play time, so that's probably why. 13 points from McGill's on the fourth line, really good. Mishkov, 51 points is really good, obviously. 29 goals this year so far. So he looks like he's off to a little bit of a slow start, but he picked it up really a lot down the stretch last year. So, but yeah, he's having a really good year still. On pace for another 100-point season. Shelley, 27 points. Not liking that. Shelley was really good down the stretch last season though as well, because he had like 16 goals in like the last or 14 goals in the last 16 games, something like that. Or maybe his last 16 goals in the last 19 games, I think, something like that. But he's off to a little bit of a sluggish start. I don't know why, considering he's playing with Aho and Byfield, but he is not scoring a lot of goals. There might be a chance we have to trade away Shelley in the offseason if we want to free up cap space, but he's really streaky. Like, going from 41 goals, and he's now on pace for 24. So, a little bit weird. Gallagher, 23 points. Redmond, 18. Like, I could get these guys higher up in the lineup if we do move out Shelley at some point. Gallant's only played one game. Chikrin, 26 points is pretty good. Glad I re-signed him. Tukinen's been really good. DeMaio's been actually pretty solid. 11 points in 41 games. Plus 6. Sasaki, a really good shutdown guy. Guerrero's been really good shutdown-wise. Bilesma's been solid as well. 7 points and a plus 6. And Asplund's been a terrible depth defenseman. Minus 4 so far. Goalie-wise, Pedersen's been really solid. 916 and a 258. And Hornquist's off to a little bit of a rocky start to his career. But he's still been okay. He's got 2 shutouts, a 902. He hasn't been really playing that much, but he's been okay, I would say, considering his goals against is a low 3. So there is that. Let me take a quick look at the entire league as well for fun, even though this episode's already approaching 30 minutes. Agostino's second in points, only behind Yip, who's way above him. Interesting. Best goal scorer so far this season, Michkov is tied for first with Boyce and DeBrincat. Wow, that's crazy. Best defenseman so far, Quinn Hughes with 44 points. Best goalie so far, Luke Conan with 27 wins. Most shutouts, Schustrom. Best save percentage by a starter is Gustafsson. Or Swayman, I guess. Or Vanacek. Goals against wise, the best by a starter is Swayman. And then Gustafsson, Vanacek. Yeah, that's one of those 3 that might win the Vezina this year. And best rookie so far in points is Sawatsky in Tampa. Okay. So there is that. Let's take a quick look at the trading block, and then that'll be it for this episode. But I don't really know if this team really needs to make much changes, because maybe that penalty kill, we could just, like, we don't even maybe need to make changes to the penalty kill, because maybe it'll just find itself in the playoffs or something like that. But I could make some changes to that if we need to. But yeah, there is some players out there to just add more depth to this team. Like I said, we don't have a whole lot of cap space, so we probably would have to get rid of some cap in order to make our team better and stuff like that. I don't know. But I really don't know who we would get rid of, considering Shelley's probably the only one that's on a bad contract at the moment. But yeah, there is definitely depth options out there. If we want to bring in a better depth forward or a better depth defenseman, considering whatever his name was not doing that well He was the -4, and he didn't really fit the defensive core either, didn't he? So maybe we get rid of him and bring in a better depth defenseman for this team. But yeah, there is also a lot of other good players out there. If we want to go insane, like Kaprizov, but $10 million, they don't have enough cap space for that. I do have enough cap space for a lot of guys, though. Because we have like 9 million, right? So a lot of prospects too, but we don't need to trade for prospects just yet. Thomas Chabot, 5 years, jeez. No thank you. Cully, no thanks. Leclerc, that guy's still on his ELC. But another sniper. I don't really need another sniper. We have a lot of snipers in our bottom 6. Kind of. But yeah, there's definitely stuff to upgrade our team a little bit more. But then again, why fix what's not really that broken, you know? And I will also address our penalty kill lines in this episode, but we might not need to make changes to them anyways. Mangiapane, but 7 years left, or not 7 years left, 7 million, 1 year. A lot of 1 year deals, which is good because we could get a guy on an expiring contract, but I don't know if I will do that. So there is that. Well, let's take a look at what was it? Oh yeah, the penalty kill lines, and see what we could do to fix the problem a little bit. But I don't know why Sebastian Aho hasn't been putting up as much points, and Shelley has been kind of bad for playing with that. Like Aho and Byfield. Looks like, yeah, Aho's definitely been the best of the bunch. I could always move Geeky down, like I said, and then go Aho top line, see if that works out, but, maybe it's just because he doesn't have a playmaker up there that Shelley's not scoring. That could be the case. Yeah, that's probably the case, because Aho has good passing, but he's not a playmaker. I could also swap Aho to center instead, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't know really what we could do in terms, though, of the penalty kill to readdress it. Let's just do a little minor flip like that. I don't really know. Do something like that too, and then that should be good. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So in next episode, we will simulate more of the season, probably the rest of the season. We might make more trades depending on what you guys think we should really do. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.